And we are live. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, a real American, back again with a new stream, and that is right. We are live on this beautiful June 19th, 2026. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a great day myself. We are a little bit late. I'm sorry about that. I clicked the wrong button. I thought the thing was going live earlier, but yeah, sorry about that, folks. We are a little bit late today, and we're joined by the A team, known as Tyrone and Mr. Luke. The usual
Yo,
suspects.
what's and
Tyrone is
Tyrone's
muted.
muted.
Yeah, Tyrone's
Yes.
muted right now, so he'll be on in a tiny bit. But yeah, the A team is here. So yeah. We have a lot
Minus
to
real
talk
Texan.
about. Yeah, except real Texans. So oh boy. I was planning to stream later tonight, but I thought, you know what, we gotta talk about the crap show that's going on in the Middle East, because my God, I can't believe that this is actually real. And we'll get to it in a second. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, enjoy the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content. And if you want to support the channel even further, you can send super chats via the chat. Again, I will read through as much chat as possible, but usually super chats are the best way to get your questions answered. We got a couple super chats. American Order for 2. The Israelis set the North Carolina Kurds to get rap. Yeah, that's what happened. What actually occurred is I clicked the wrong button to start the stream. So yeah. Bar for 2. Happy Juneteenth, you beautiful black women. Thank
I am
you.
a big, beautiful black woman right off the plantation, and I say
Okay.
happy Juneteenth to everybody here.
Thank you. Okay, we got to get into it. Where do we start? I mean, listen, the title says it all. This whole thing with Israel's got to listen. I have no clue how it's possible for it to get worse for Israel, but somehow it does. So let me just pull up the tweet. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, right? The tweet that
Ben Gavir.
This is one of Netanyahu's top people, by the way. This is not some random
Defense.
Director for
Defense.
National
Yeah,
Security. Yeah, his defense minister.
This guy
basically.
is up there with Netanyahu. And well, I may not even be able to show this on stream. I think I should be able to, but
Yeah, you can show
He
it.
calls for the mass genocide of Lebanon, basically.
yeah, so right here, this is what it says. For every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. All of Lebanon must burn. With all due respect to the Americans, Israel must make it clear to the entire world that the blood of our sons and the security of our citizens are not forfeit. All of Lebanon must burn. Our supreme duty is to protect the citizens of Israel and the soldiers of the IDF. And this commitment takes precedent over every other consideration. Question, what is he implying here? Not even implying it. What is he saying? In plain English. Somebody take a guess. Somebody.
Kill, 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 kill.
Yeah. This is real. This nutcase is going around one of Netanyahu's top people and saying, yeah, we got to exterminate the Lebanese. How does this benefit Israel?
By the way, when he says exterminate the Lebanese, he doesn't mean just the Muslims. He means the Christians, too.
Everybody. He
and
not
the
make
Jews,
any
because there's
distinction.
Jews in Lebanon as well. Yeah, everyone.
Yeah. One on earth. This is his top person, by the way. This is Netanyahu's like third in command or whatever. Are you saying this is real? Yeah, it is real. It's Israel.
By the way, this guy is a self-described Jewish supremacist.
Yeah.
So yeah, like basically, yeah, his party actively advocates for like Jewish ethno-nationalism. Effectively, he's basically a Jewish fascist. Is probably the best way to put it in Israel's
I
context.
can't believe it. They're just now admitting this stuff. It's like, yeah, we want to kill all these Lebanese people because what?
And again, guys, I'm pro-Israel, but people like this should not be in the cabinet. I'm opposed to this type of politics in any country. I'd be opposed to it in America, in Europe, in Israel. It shouldn't be
How is it
anywhere.
any different than what Iran says on a daily basis? Or these other countries?
Yeah.
How is it any different?
It's not. It's just that they think they can get away with it because they're Jews.
And this is, you know, it's getting bad when the Trump admin, they're publicly saying we're done with this shit. They're saying, screw you guys, we're done. We're done with this insanity, because How can anyone defend this? How can a single person say, yeah, this is a good thing to say, that we got to kill everybody that's not Jewish?
I'd like to point out that Grok is not auto-translating this tweet, so it's doing the thing again where all the Jewish tweets, all the tweets in Hebrew are basically being soft censored for advocating for violence.
It's just insane. Absolute insanity. That's what's going on here. Uh, American Noted for 2. What the fuck is Netanyahu trying to do now? A lot of bad stuff. President Gilbert Giddy up for 5. Here's your APAC money. Now support Israel religiously. Yeah, basically. President Gilbert Giddy up for 5. Juneteenth is here and our black queen will speak her truth. Big beautiful voice for Tyrone. Trans flag. Oh my gosh. Jesse the Minnesotan for 2. Reminder that Lebanon is still 1/3 Christian. Yeah. And they're just saying, yeah, kill everybody. Kill a Lebanese. Seriously, like who like the crazy part is it's one thing to say we have the right to self-defense. It's weird to see people get excited over this. Like he's excited that yeah, Tyrone, we're about to go to Lebanon and kill everybody. Yeah, they get excited over it. It's like, wait, what? America Noted for 6. That said, get Netanyahu and his allies the same way we got Maduro, then give them to the Hague or wherever the court is who wants to arrest him is. I agree. America Noted for 2. I wonder what Mike Huckabee thinks of all of this. Who fucking knows? But yeah, so the real thing is, this is a major problem now with Israel. It's clear they've gone off their rocker. I have no clue what they're trying to accomplish here. Do they think this is popular? Are they just that
I don't
delusional?
think they give a shit.
Are they just that crazy delusional, this government?
Again, Netanyahu's thing is he kind of wants Israel to be unpopular because he wants Israel to be just independent of any other actor. That's kind of like his ideology and why he's kind of done a lot of these actions.
So their plan is to threaten genocide.
I mean, that is
I
one
will
way to
say,
become
for the
incredibly
record,
unpopular quickly.
Ben-Gvir is kind of like a rogue guy in the administration. Netanyahu has his issues, but he is nowhere near as extreme as someone like Gvir. For the record, like Israel is one of those countries where they have coalition governments, so there's a bunch of parties. Ben-Gvir is from one of the smaller parties. This like very hard right, like kind of like ultra orthodox party. That's what he's from. As opposed to Netanyahu's like definitely the most moderate person in the
Oh,
coalition. But
yeah,
the way that those coalition,
sure.
I mean, yeah, in the coalition, he's objectively the most moderate. I'm not saying he is a moderate. I'm just saying compared to
It's not really
his
saying
party.
much. That's like saying the
But
Iran
yeah,
moderates are
well,
moderates.
yeah. But what I'm saying is that in these coalition government countries, every party will typically get some form of representation in the government. I think this party, like these hard right parties are going to end up propping up the government pretty much no matter what. Whether it's Bibi or it's Yair Lapid, who's the guy who could beat Bibi in the next election, or it's Naftali Bennett, any of these people, those far right parties are going to be the ones that prop it up because any Israeli government has to choose between either working with those guys or working with the Arabs. And if you work with the Arabs, that's you don't work with them. That's like
Well, yeah, I get that, like, yes, Netanyahu is technically speaking the most moderate. But like I said, that's not really saying much. He's just not publicly saying we got to kill the Lebanese people. That's the issue here.
No,
It's
and
just,
for the record, I think you should fire this guy. I think we should
they're not going to, though.
encourage them. I think if we encourage and put our foot down and tell them to, they might.
No, I mean, because here's the thing, though, Netanyahu is still doing shit in Lebanon. He's doing shit in these other countries, purposely trying to fuck over the peace deal for.
Okay, I will say, okay, for the
Listen,
record, I'm critical of how Bibi's taking this as well. But Hezbollah has been striking Israel
yeah, we
throughout
get
this.
that,
They
but the
just
way they're
killed a
handling
bunch of.
Luke, the way they're handling it is stupid. The way they're
I'm not
talking
going to
about
sit here
it.
and act like Israel can't respond to terrorist
Luke,
attacks taking
you're
place.
just straw manning me. I literally said, like, yes, they have a right to self-defense, but to go around and say we got to kill Lebanese people.
That's wrong. But that's
Yeah,
not
I
what
literally just said that. You're just straw manning me.
Okay, but they're not actively at the moment. They're not actively genociding the Lebanese. One rogue cabinet official said this, which is
Okay,
wrong.
has Netanyahu gone against this then publicly? Has he said anything
He
against
hasn't,
this?
and he should be pressured to. That's what should happen. That's what the United States should do.
The gayest argument ever. You two are in agreement. I don't know why you're being a contrarian, Rap.
You're a contrarian.
Okay, you're doing the thing again where like you just immediately regurgitate something. Whatever. This is a retarded argument. Continue on with the super chats.
Wow, thank you. American Nerd for 6. That's it. Get Netanyahu and his allies are rather already shit. Where are we at? Jesse Minnesota for 2. The ATP gives Israel to the Vatican. I'm Protestant. That's real. Luke clearly knows more than Rap here. I'm not saying I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm just saying that Netanyahu alone.
Yeah, I know way too much about like Israeli politics. I should not. Like,
It's because you're a Zionist shill and you will be executed at dawn.
brother, I'm not even.
Mashallah.
Look, I'm
I am
pro.
shit posting, bro.
I get it. I get it, bro.
Oh, when you shit posting when you call me a contrarian, then?
No, I was actually being completely serious about that.
Well, you're cringe.
Okay, sure, buddy.
Oh gosh. Give Jerusalem to the United States. That's real. Give Lord Bezkeen Baldwin. But yeah, this whole thing with Israel, just I get it. Like, yes, Israel, they have right to self-defense. Any country does when they get attacked like this by Hezbollah. But the problem is just the way they're handling it is just stupid. And they're just trying to like start shit with Iran again. It doesn't help anybody. That's what I'm trying to get at. How does this help Israel in any way?
Well, for the record, they responded to an attack.
Yes, I literally just said that.
They're not trying to start anything with Iran right now.
They kind of are.
By attacking Hezbollah, who attacked them first. That's what's going on. Don't get me wrong. I'm very skeptical of Israel, but what they're doing, responding
How are you
to
skeptical anyway?
What?
Can you name how you're skeptical?
Skeptical of what?
Bro. Do you have dementia? Like, how are you skeptical what Israel's doing here then?
No, I'm just skeptical of them generally. I don't blindly trust any country, especially because Israel's interests clearly involve this. But what I will say is when you have Hezbollah striking them after the deal is finalized, don't be surprised when Israel strikes them back, because that's what they're going to do. You know, and that's not necessarily Israel trying to sabotage the peace deal. I'm not saying that they like the peace deal by any means. I'm sure they'd want it not to go through. But when it comes to them going after Hezbollah, that is not them sabotaging the peace deal. That is them responding to
I didn't say that. Like, yes, I think if they get attacked by Hezbollah or whatever, fine. They have a right to respond. But the way they go about it.
That's what they did, though. That Hezbollah attacked them.
You clearly don't know much about what's going on.
I literally just said they did. Whatever.
Then what's your issue with what Israel's doing?
My issue is this shit. Saying shit like this publicly.
Yeah, Ben Gvir sucks. All of us agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm so confused, Brett. Why are you mad? We're in agreement. This minister
Why
sucks.
you mad?
He needs to be replaced.
Like, I'm confused.
Benjamin
like, what
Netanyahu,
we
shut
arguing
the
about?
fuck up. Let me talk.
Okay, you know what? Just talk.
Good Lord, I'm just trying to fucking say something. Everyone here is in agreement that this dude said something incredibly out of line. We all just agreed that, yeah, Israel has the right to fucking respond to Hezbollah attacking them, especially before the ceasefire was announced by the administration early this morning. Why are we arguing about this? This is a really dumb argument. Everyone agrees here that an Israeli government official should not be saying this, and simultaneously Israel has the right to fucking defend itself after a terrorist attack that killed 4 IDF soldiers. This is a really stupid fucking argument. Let's move on, please.
No, I'm joking. Yeah. But I don't know. It must have been a miscommunication or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, unfortunately, we tend to do that here. Welcome to Real American Miscommunication.
Yeah.
It was fun, though.
What my issue is, because here's the fucking thing. Just like with the fucking the October 7th attack, yes, they had a right to the counterattack or whatever. They had a right to do that. But what they did afterwards was fucking insane. They just kept doing it for years. And they blew up the entire city. That's why fear is going to happen here. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Like,
Yeah, so that it's important that we tell Bibi that no, this is not acceptable. This is what Trump and Vance are doing. Trump and Vance are making it known to the Israelis right now that no, this is not an acceptable thing. You cannot be going around doing this shit. There needs to be a ceasefire. We need the United States and Iran are the senior partners currently. Israel is not a senior partner, but Iran treats them, rightfully so, as a major agent that needs to be cooperating right now. And it is entirely fair for Israel to respond to Hezbollah, which is a known Iranian proxy terrorist cell that just killed four service members overnight in the Middle East. Yes, Israel can respond. But we also need to make sure that when what's his fucking face goes and says shit like this, all the diplomatic pressure is on him. He needs to be removed. Netanyahu needs to make it extremely. Netanyahu needs to make it extremely. It needs to be made extremely apparent to Netanyahu this type of extremist rhetoric in the middle of potentially the biggest Middle Eastern peace negotiation since the Abraham Accords, and really just one of the biggest ones in the past 25, 26, hell, 30 years, needs to be respected with what the Trump administration is doing, especially with respect to J.D. Vance, because this is his moment.
All right. Let's see. Right guy for 2. Late Ben Gavir politics. Yeah.
Any such case.
Daniel Strange for 5. I told the anti-Israel crowd that America and Israel had mutual interests but different long-term goals than Iran. Not to tell the pro-Israel crowd. Well, I mean, that's been the issue here. It was eventually going to come to a head where it's like, hey, yes, we might have some mutual interest. We're not in alignment on every single thing. We're not. And it's clear that over the last couple of days, we have some big differences in interpretations of what we want to do with Iran. Israel just wants to continue doing whatever they're going to do with Hezbollah and Hamas, and then eventually Iran, I guess. But problem is it going anywhere with what they're doing? Seriously, have they actually won anything in, what, 3 years of this shit? Just honestly.
That's just the Middle East in general.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. American Note for 2. Will this impact the Iran deal in a bad way? I don't think so. Because
I think in the worst case, the Trump administration is willing to throw Israel under the bus if they have to in order to get this deal through.
Yeah.
Because it's very clear that Trump and Vance both are very sick of Netanyahu and the Israelis with what they're doing. We need to make it very clear, hey, we're going to go through with this whether or not you like it or not. And I do think Trump has it within him to say, fuck the Israeli lobby, fuck Israel, fuck these people if they're going to actively undermine our diplomatic efforts in the region. And I think Trump should do that. I quite frankly think that yes, Trump should just at this point say we are going to engage with Iran as the United States only. We are absolving ourselves of anything the Israelis are doing because the Israelis have made it very clear with their actions that they have no interest in what the United States' agenda is. And this has been happening for a while to begin with.
Well, yeah, and that's what we're trying to get at, where with this agreement with Iran, like, would Israel, like, I think they're going to fall in line eventually, but if they don't, you got to fucking cut them loose. Like, if they're going to keep playing games where it's like, oh, we're not going to adhere to the agreement, we're, again, self-defense, that's one thing, but then do a full-on invasion like they're threatening to do, that's where it's another problem. That's the issue, where it's,
this is your problem. This is the problem when people talk about completely decoupling with Israel. If you decouple with Israel fully, you lose all this leverage. And that's kind of where I disagree with some people. It's like, why do we give Israel money? Why do we aid them? Why do we do this? If we didn't aid them, they would be running fucking rampant and they'd have like no regulating force. We giving them money, I agree we shouldn't be giving them as much as we give, but I kind of like them being a little bit reliant on us. I'm going to be honest.
But even then, they're kind of just, they're starting to like ignore us a little bit. They're starting to just say, fuck you. We're not going to listen to you anymore.
On what? outside of Ben Gavir's.
No, there's a fucking I gotta pull the Axis report. They got into it like behind the scenes. I gotta pull it up.
Yeah, countries argue with each other behind the scenes, but what action has Israel taken recently um, that the United States didn't
It's top of my head. I
support?
gotta find the article. Hold on.
They like to say stuff. They can come out and say shit, but when it comes to actual actions, they're not going to.
All right. Super chat to read. American Nerd for 2. I hope Randy Fine hasn't said anything about this. I don't think so, thankfully. President Gilbert Gideon for 2. Real American politics, political fist fights. Yeah, that's real. But yeah, it was a couple weeks when they struck I think did they strike Beirut? And we told them not to, and they kind of just did anyways. And that really pissed off the Iranians. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me get the article.
Yeah, but that didn't really destroy.
I know, but it almost did. It really fucked up the entire conversation, though. That's the problem. And that's the whole issue with this whole Israel stuff. Like, they just keep doing shit like this. And at some point, like, Iran should say, fuck you, we're done. We're not going to keep talking. Now, do they really got leverage? I don't know about that. But the point is, like, the problem with Israel, they just do stunts like this all the time. Thankfully, it hasn't done much, but...
So what is your solution? What would you do?
Tell Israel to fuck off. And like Tyrone says, do it separately. Like, just say we're negotiating with Iran as United States. Not with Iran.
Like, what if Iran's still, like, what would you say we do then? You want to completely couple from Israel, or what's your...
I think eventually you have to. I just don't think this relationship is stable. Good Lord, is sustainable much longer. If I'm being completely honest, I just think that, how to explain this? It just, we have different goals clearly, and it's coming to a head. I just don't know how you avoid these like major differences. You know what I'm saying? Though, you gonna try to say?
I get that, but as you completely couple from Israel, they're gonna go batshit. And
they already kind of are, though.
Not really.
I mean, kind of.
They've been attacking Lebanon, who has been hosting a terrorist group that has been committing tons of terrorist attacks on Israel, killing countless civilians. Again, you just got to realize, if America had if the cartels in Mexico were over periods committing countless attacks where they're just going into American areas, massacring Americans, we would support the United States bombing Mexico as much as possible to get these people out, would we not?
Well, we kind of are already.
Not to the same extent. We're talking not like the cartel violence we see now. I'm talking like countless like massacres take place where they go into, like, on the U.S.'s scale, where these people go into cities and basically just massacre the population, or like towns on the border. We would be fucking strong.
Okay, Luke, like we tell them several times, don't do this, don't do that, and they literally ignore us. And it's our weapons and stuff.
Because again, they're an independent country. That's kind of...
So what? Okay, if they're already ignoring us and they're telling us no, what's the fucking point of the money then we give them? What's the fucking point?
Well, I think what we need to do is put more of a stand. And until recently, Trump really didn't do that. Trump kind of just was like, okay, never mind, you could do. But recently, Trump has been taking more of a stand and saying, hey, we're not going to allow this. And since that has happened, you might notice Israel has started falling in line a bit more.
Which that is true, because there was a little while ago, Israel and Hezbollah agreed to hold fighting for a little bit.
Yeah, because again, Trump, when you're in charge of America, you just got to put your foot down. Trump, for the longest time, didn't do that, and that was largely the issue. I think you can put your foot down, and they will listen. The problem is, for the longest time, Trump just kind of let Israel do it in many ways.
Comfortable.
The video maker for 2. Rap versus Luke, peace treaty mediated by Tyrone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is... And I'm so glad that Boston Nationalist is not on these streams. Rap versus Boston.
Super low. He probably agrees with Ben Gavir, and I'm not.
What I'm saying is having Boston and Rap argue would be like the equivalent of a thermonuclear autism bomb
Oh,
going
What is
off.
God.
that supposed to mean? Whoa, what the
No,
fuck is that supposed to mean?
No, 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 no. That's what he always says.
No. Not you, Rap. The other party in
God.
question.
But it just,
Boston, man.
yeah. Again, I'm not saying like, Luke, I understand what you're saying with the whole, like, yeah, we theoretically we do still got influence over them. I get that. But even then, the fact that we do this much just to tell them to stop on something, I just don't think that's sustainable in the long run. I just don't think so. That's what I'm saying. Like, at some point, you got to decouple anyways. Hell, Netanyahu himself is saying we got to decouple from America. And now we got people in the Senate saying the same thing. So,
Again,
I
you know why Netanyahu's saying
I
that?
get
He
that
doesn't
because
want America to have leverage, and
I
he
know.
wants to be able to do more of what he wants to do, which you oppose. For the record, I'm just saying that's what you're endorsing. You're endorsing BB's vision there. It's not. He
It's a
doesn't want
straw
to
man.
couple because he doesn't like that he's getting money from the American taxpayer. He doesn't.
Well, yeah,
He's
no, I'm not saying like, yeah, they have their own
yeah.
interests. It's like, yeah, yes, we do get some influence, but at this point, i- i-
Again,
do we really,
me too.
honestly,
Yes.
do we
In the
really?
past week, since Trump has been actually actively like kind of putting his foot down, telling Israel not to do this shit, yes, we do have a say over what they do. And they know that if they don't fully decouple, we're going to keep having that say over them. Which is why I think it's a net positive. We don't need to be giving them as much money as we give them, but I think cutting off all aid to Israel is stupid and is only going to make the problem worse. Um, I like having leverage over them. I like using them kind of as a client state to some extent. It's a good thing when you are an empire, the way the United States is a modern empire. You want countries like that you can kind of like rely on. You can kind of hide behind when you know you need some action taken in the Middle East. You know, a lot of times we can use Israel because in their country, when their leaders take action against these countries, their popularity goes up. When in America, your popularity tanks. You know.
I
Um,
guess.
yeah.
Tyrone, what do you think of this? What do you think?
Huh?
Thank you.
Oh, what do I think about one specific?
Like, okay, do you agree with Luke more on the whole Israel stuff where we should keep giving them aid, or
No, I think Israel's perfectly fine sustaining themselves. The majority of people in the Department of the State, I do think Luke is in the minority on this, and I agree with the majority. I don't think that we should really be giving them much aid to begin with at this point. I mean, insofar as giving them aid is nothing more than a tactical ally or a strategic ally, sure. But this whole special relationship with Israel should end.
Oh
We
no,
should
I
stop
don't think we
treating
should have a
them.
special relationship. I think we should treat it the same way we treat the
oh,
United
that
Kingdom, France,
Luke? If that's what you're
any of
saying,
those
then I
countries.
agree with you. Then, if that's what you're saying, I
Yeah,
agree with you.
See,
I,
yeah,
it's
but I
amazing.
do
It's
think that
amazing how
does
you
involve,
two.
but we still give aid to
I just think that we
like,
shouldn't. I just
France.
think most countries we shouldn't give aid, but that's my opinion. But
I think now if America holds all foreign aid, that's a very sloppulist issue in my opinion. It
I'm not
sounds
saying
very
all
good.
for it. I'm just saying like a lot of it should just go away, and some countries just shouldn't
I
like get
know,
aid.
but if you basically gut foreign aid, and don't get me wrong, I want to gut a lot of it. I think the amount we send on like minor sex changes in like
Well,
South
well,
Africa is
USA is
stupid.
dead.
Botswana, butt sex in Botswana.
Yeah,
Sesame Street in Iraq.
yeah, like the amount we spend on that stuff is stupid. But I still think if you like massively reduce foreign aid, that will help China in many ways. I think we need to we need to be more careful with how we distribute it, but you definitely can't cut off all aid. I think, especially military aid to a lot of these countries.
But it's just a problem where I think it does get a bit excessive. But even then, like even with like NATO, for example, we're
Well,
seeing
that's
how
how being the global
like
superpower is, Rap.
I
Like,
know,
I'm sorry,
I
that's
know,
that's
but I'm
just
just
how
saying like
it is.
the fact that we give that much money to like NATO and shit, and that they throw that big of a temper tantrum like over the dumbest of things, that's where it becomes an issue. Where okay, should we still give NATO money if they're
Okay,
not
for
gonna
the record,
do anything.
European leaders attacking Trump. Trump is very unpopular in Europe, and it helps them get cheap political points. What they say publicly, I don't really give a shit. I don't think that means, hey,
Well, he's dead.
went to hung out with Kamala in Pennsylvania one time. Like I think that's just stupid. And it's basically like taking America's like strategic interest and turning it into like some partisan game where it's like, oh, let's cut off our relationship, or no, let's cut off aid to this country who is fighting an adversary because they might lean towards the Democrats over the Republicans. I think you shouldn't take domestic politics.
No, it's just,
You
I just think that they're playing games and like refuse to fall in line. Let's just say fuck it, we cut the aid to them.
They really aren't though. They say shit, but then when we ask Europe to do something, at the end of the day, they will kind of help us out. We didn't really need them to do shit with the Strait. We kind of just
Well, they
asked
took
them
credit
to.
for it. They did take credit for it.
Yeah, that's what they
We
do.
took credit. We saved the world, everybody. We did it.
You got to realize that was a very cheap win for them, and Trump honestly probably just let them do that shit with like
Yeah,
the
let them
whole
do their
straight thing.
shit.
Because again, Trump is super unpopular in Europe. A lot of these leaders have very low approval ratings. So just Trump was probably like, hey, if you guys want to just decline to like help us with the straight, your approvals will go up. I don't mind. Like Trump honestly probably waved that.
All right. So I think we're gonna move on from the Israeli topic. Nutshell, I listen.
I got effing for a few minutes. I'll be back soon.
Yeah, so I think overall,
Thank you.
like we've had some dumb arguments, but I think we kind of agree that this whole bullshit needs to end. I think the special relationship, it's never going to go anywhere positively. It doesn't really benefit us in the long run. If they want to be an ally, sure. But if they're gonna be playing games like this and fucking, I don't know. It just, we gotta wait and see, I guess, what happens. But it is positive that they did finally, Trump did get them in line a little bit, but we'll see. Jesse the Minnesotan for 2. Reminder that Dearborn has a lot of Lebanese. Midterms. Yeah, that's a good point. Boston Nationalist for 2. How many vaccines did you get as a baby, Tyrone?
I mean, I got the same amount of vaccines as other people. Vaccines don't cause autism, and overexposure to prenatal testosterone in the womb causes autism.
Anyways, President Gilbert Getty up for 10. I feel like if we break away, then does Israel realize they will get no support anywhere and then get tariffed the hell out of or attacked more? Tell me your logic. That's a good point where it's like, we're the only country in the world that's really backing Israel. Seriously, who else is backing them? Anybody?
I don't know, Yogi.
Like, seriously, like, Europe hates their guts. They're surrounded in the Middle East. Is there a single country, a major one, that's really pro-Israel? Like, not really. And that's kind of the point where we're the only ones kind of saving these people. And they should be 100% aligned with what we want. But sometimes it doesn't work that way. Ben Boway for 2. This flew under the radar, but Cuba reformed. Oh, that's a big story. We got to get to that. So enough of Israel. Fuck these guys. I'm sick of this.
I do gotta get going to handle some military bullshit, so I'll see you guys later.
All right. So, let me pull this up. Let me pull up the Cuba stuff. We're gonna switch topics a little bit. India. Yeah, I guess India, but they really don't. Do they give them money? Argentina, I guess Argentina. That's mostly because Malay. But yeah, so speaking of foreign policy, again, the Israel stuff, that's a different animal. I think just you got to find a way to figure that out. There's many ways to do it, but it's a very complex topic. And obviously, Luke knows more about the Israeli government, but anyways. Gabriel for 2. Israel spends 10 times their own stuff than the 3.8 billion. Yeah, I get that, but still, it's a lot of money for them. All right. We got to talk about Cuba. So this is a pretty big deal. And I really think what's going to happen to Cuba the next couple of weeks, it's going to make people completely forget about Iran. Iran was not really a failure on Trump's part. In fact, you look at the sanctions, how we're going to do that, it kind of is a W on America's part, but we'll get to that later. So the Iran stuff, you could argue is a wash because, yeah, we didn't achieve regime change, which I don't think really was Trump's main goal. Even then, he kind of did, but whatever. Either way, so Iran is a wash. I do think, though, this whole Cuba stuff is going to. Oh shit! I left the chat accident. Sorry about that, Luke.
I am back.
Yeah.
I have returned.
So Cuba is going to. They just passed their largest economic reform since the 1959 revolution. You hear about this? Cuba's going capitalist.
Epic.
They're actually going to go freaking capitalist. The plan provides for private real estate development, the creation of private banks, and the transformation of some state enterprises into commercial companies with shares, and the easing of restrictions for private businesses. So this is a big deal. This is the first time in revolutionary Cuba's history they're allowing for some form of capitalism, a real version of it. I wonder why they're doing that. Luke, question: is there a certain country about to bomb Cuba? Is there a certain country about to go in there and take down Castro? Wonder who that is.
We will see.
Yeah,
we shall see.
It's America. We are about to obliterate these guys. We may not even have to do anything. All we have to really do, I think, is just keep up the pressure. Just say, hey, fix your shit or else. Because what can Cuba do? They have nothing. Their economy stinks. They're out of energy.
I'll say if we do this, Jared Moskowitz is DOA.
Yeah, I think he's screwed. Because guess what? 90% of people are going to support this. Nobody actually likes Cuba. I know there's some nutcase on Twitter that do, but the average person, they're like, yeah, fuck Cuba. And how do you think Cubans in Miami are going to respond? Do you think they're going to be upset that the Cuban regime went down in flames? I don't think so.
Also, according to YouGov's poll, Dems are only up like 3 points with Hispanics right now in the generic ballot. Again, we genuinely don't know how Hispanics will vote this year.
It's going to
because
depend on the
all we have to go off of is special elections with like very low turnout.
And Hispanics still vote in specials, by the way.
Yeah, it's like these low turnout special elections where Dems have done good. And the generic ballot polls where there's been like a huge amount of like some polls have Dems winning Hispanics by like 80, and then some have them.
That's bullshit.
Some have them losing them, or some of them winning them by like 2. So it's all over the place.
America noted for 2. So should we still go after Cuba? I don't think we really have to at this point. I think what's going to happen is they're just collapsing at this point. If they're starting to do this shit, the same shit that China and Russia did in the 80s and 90s, it's over. What does Cuba have? What do they have that could save them? Seriously, well, what do they got? They got cigars, I guess, and I actually don't know what's in Cuba. I honestly don't know. And old cars, I guess. Sure. Outside of
they're
that,
gonna actually get those updated.
Yeah,
those cars.
Well, those cars are nice, but
well, they got some of the best mechanics in the world, because they got to keep these cars from like 1950 running into the modern day, bro. They got some pretty good mechanics, I've heard.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big deal that they're doing this. I think they're realizing they're fucked, and they want to. My theory is that it's been kind of like Venezuela. They slowly ease into the American system. That's what I think is going to happen. I think
that could even end up happening in Iran if we open it up more to the world.
Well, we'll get the sanction stuff. That's kind of what I think Trump's plan is here. But
yeah,
I think this is a big W for Trump if we get Cuba out of the way. I mean, when you think about it, do you think Cubans and Venezuelans are going to vote Democrat after this? Like, honestly, why would they ever vote Democrat again if they actually go through with this? If we get Cuba and Venezuela sorted out. I don't know. President Gilbert Giddy up for 2. It doesn't matter if they can't be trusted. Cuba? At this point, again, what does Cuba have? Rum, cigars, some doctors. Yeah, they've got that shit. That's not really gonna save them. So I don't see why private companies would trust the government not to nationalize their shit. Well, that is a problem, but if they just do that, they're screwed. So I think they're going to actually go through with this. And if they do, What's the point of Cuba being Cuba? What's the point of keeping it communist or allegedly communist if they're starting to go through with this? Florida becomes R+20. But no, Luke, do you know that the Cubans in Miami, they love the Cuban regime? Don't you know that?
Yeah, they're big fans of it.
Yeah. Congratulations. Welcome to R+20 Miami-Dade. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. You
Hey, but I
underestimate.
was told by a certain public sentiment institute that Byron Donalds is cooked in Miami-Dade.
We're not going to get into that.
The only,
I know this.
the only way to win Miami-Dade is to nominate the anti-Semitic maniac.
I've heard there's a ticking time bomb. I'm not going to say anything about that, but it's getting released already. You can kind of guess what's going on there, but
On what? On TPSI?
you didn't hear what the stuff that came out?
I did not hear about
Look
the
into
subject.
it. That's
Okay,
what I'm
you're
gonna
gonna have
say.
to tell me after stream.
Yeah.
I gotta see this.
But no, it's been like released publicly. It's not like a rumor. It's been released.
Mhm.
So
We did work with them one time. We made sure that they didn't use AI. We like put it in writing. And funnily enough, our poll that they did was like the most realistic poll they've ever put out that didn't have like an absurdly high Dems swing. It was very interesting because
yeah.
we put in writing. We made him put in writing that he wasn't bullshitting with shit. But we're never working with him again. It was a mistake. But I will say the poll we did came out okay. So that's good.
K-Cup for 2 just got here. What the fuck is Israel doing now? They thankfully did not go far. They didn't go too far with the Lebanon stuff, but I still think it's bad news there. But yeah, we had a discussion on that. And what's this with the FBI? Hold on here. FBI. Oh, hold up. FBI. People are saying the FBI just found election fraud in LA. Let's see here. FBI.
Oh shoot! Yeah, we're gonna have to get into the Starmer stuff. Yeah, he's probably gonna step down. Yeah, it was just revealed that Starmer's considering resigning, which basically means he's gonna be out. Yeah, we got to talk about that. And
Yeah, right here.
at the end of it.
So a little while ago, it was reported that the FBI they descended onto Skid Row to investigate election fraud in LA. And the current details are there's 20 agents on the ground from the FBI and DHS. Homeless residents say they're being paid $2 to $4 to register and sign paperwork. One guilty plea already secured, a new felony charge, a woman's accused of paying people to register. But guys, I thought this stuff was fake. California elections are secure, everybody. Freaking got homeless people. Like, again, the problem is not homeless people voting. They're getting paid to vote and register. Vote. That, by the way, which is
I wonder
illegal.
who they were being told to vote for, because there's no way these people came up with decisions.
Well, yeah, they were
themselves.
told to. They were told, you got to vote for this person. We have to see your ballot, and then we'll give you your money, $5 or whatever. It's disgusting. But now it's coming out that, yeah, this Skid Row thing, which I know it's conveniently found as a Democrat
How
area.
much did Ramen beat Pratt by? How many votes?
I actually, was it like 10,000 votes? I don't know. That's probably illegal in California. No, not even California do they allow that. That's illegal, but they never enforce the law. So, President Gilbert getting up for 10. I think the bright side of Venezuela and Cuba falling is a lot of cartels in Central and South America. Plus, China and Russia's influence in the Western Hemisphere goes down significantly. Yeah, that's true. K-Cup for 2. Did they crucify Elon for that in Wisconsin? Yeah, but here's the difference, though. That is not illegal what Elon did. It was dumb, especially at the very end. But what he was doing is making people sign a pledge. Not the register to vote, to sign a pledge. Like they support freedom of speech and blah, blah, blah. And they get their information and they can help them register. That's different than, we'll give you $5 if you register to vote right now. Luke, you got $5 right now. You guys just sign this paperwork.
Yeah, I'll sign the paperwork.
Yeah. American Noted for 2. And by the way, I guarantee you half these people didn't even get their votes. Their votes were already cast for them. So, American Noted for 2. Isn't the DOJ going after Newsom for taxes? Yes, they are. President Gilbert getting up for 5. I should clarify super chat. The cartels fall and more vulnerable than ever. Sorry, eating hot fries. Well, yeah, the cartels are dead. They have nothing. The cartels literally have what? They have parts of Mexico still, but even that's going to fall apart. So, yeah, the Western Hemisphere is getting secure because of Trump, and that's a good thing. I do hope he keeps it up. But yeah, people are talking about the Keir Starmer thing. We got to talk about that.
We got to, because I
That's a big
want to give
story.
some insight, because
Yeah, the Cuba stuff was
surprisingly
big, but
surprisingly last night,
you're
I
wrong.
actually I was live while this ended up happening. Makerfield was called and Burnham won by a much bigger landslide than anyone anticipated. It was very clear if he won, which everyone pretty much expected him to win. I didn't expect him to get 54%. Everyone expected that he would replace Starmer, but now it looks like Starmer's probably going to be out very quickly, and he might just give it to Burnham, which means Burnham might be in the next week or so. Which also another thing that is a custom in UK politics. Typically, after you become prime minister, if you are elected not through an election but through the people, you typically call a general election to just test your popularity. And I think Burnham is going to be very popular when he becomes prime minister. So I think
Great.
he will be calling an election very quickly, which means
I think reform's screwed.
probably before the end of the summer, we'll be seeing another UK election. We will see. Because here's what I'll tell you. Reform has not done very good in the past few of these elections, but here's one problem. Tactical voting. In these by-elections, the entire national focus is just on a couple of these areas. So these parties have the time to like tactically vote and kind of say, okay, Reform will win the seat if like Labor and Greens. But the thing is, when you have a national election, you have 650 seats. You can't do
That's
that with
true.
every state. And that's kind of the issue.
Why is Burnham so popular? I actually don't know. I don't know the
popular.
reason.
He's literally Starmer, but it's like he's got the same politics as Starmer pretty much. That's the funny thing. It's just he's a new face.
So
like
something
that's it.
different. It's like, yeah, he's better because he's different.
He's
And then
out
it's-
of national politics. He's like the mayor of Greater Manchester, which is basically the equivalent of being like a governor. You can kind of call him like if Starmer's like the Trump, he could be like the DeSantis, you know.
Oh,
That's
a good way to
kind
put
of
it. Okay.
That's probably the way to put. He's like a governor of he's like the mayor of a well-known area, like the Manchester area. Which I know it's called mayor, so you might think, oh, he's just the mayor of Manchester. No, it's like the entire region around Manchester. It's weird the way the UK does mayors. They'll have like mayor for like an entire like state in the US, you know, but it's how they do their system. So he's very popular because of that. He's been detached from national politics for a while. And the thing is, he's going to want to call an election pretty quick because this is the only time he's going to be popular. If he stays in there, his approval will collapse in like 2 months once they find out he's not going to meaningfully change the government in any meaningful way. So he's going to want to have an election um, before his approval collapses. So I'm expecting you might see an election called for like early August.
Do they actually, but like, I know that's a precedent, but are they actually go through with that? Do they?
I mean, why would Burnham want to like go in there with no mandate and have his approval collapse within 2 weeks?
I guess, yeah.
Also, you realize he literally campaigned in this by-election saying if he becomes prime minister, he's going to call an election. If you immediately go back on like one of your big campaign promises, that's going to be a terrible look. Like, especially for his approval very early on.
All right. American Order for 2. If Starmer resigns, will there be a new election? That's kind of what it sounds like. Chance raising for
Burnham
5.
would call one. Starmer won't trigger one.
Well, yeah, Starmer won't. But I still find it funny that I wish he would have done as FU when he was still a prime minister, like as on his way out. I wish he would have done that because that was the rumor that the only reason that they did not force him out was because of that. But Chance raising for 5. You guys see Massey lied about the peace deal and then move the goalposts. What an idiot. And now his best friend is Tucker's lying about Kirk's death too. Yeah, now they're saying Kirk was killed by you know who.
Ever since he lost, I forgot he existed, Messi. I'm gonna be honest.
Like
Like
I
I feel like
said,
since he's lost, he just disappeared from the
but
headlines.
no, Barris told us that he was more powerful than when he lost. Fucking
Mhm.
bullshit. Guys, you lose power and you somehow get more powerful? What? How do you have more power outside of Congress? It's just the whole logic. I never made that never made sense to me. How do you lose and that gets you more power? What?
Yeah.
American noted for 2 is Reform UK screwed because that by election. I don't think so.
No, no, they aren't. Labor might be favored because of Burnham's boost in popularity, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's a sure thing for them because they risk collapsing. Also, too, they're not going to have the Greens getting 1% of the national vote in a national election. The Greens have a
That's
leader
true.
who's very good at getting leftist voters to vote for him because there is. Because again, Burnham, what's a big problem with him that's going to hurt a lot of left wing voters? He's for continuing some of Starmer's more strict immigration policies. That wasn't really talked about a lot in the by election. If it was talked about, it was more so to get reform voters to vote for him. And that's the thing people don't kind of get about UK politics. Everyone's kind of gettable. Like people will flip from reform to labor, labor to reform. Like arguably since reform is kind of gone up in the polls. They've taken more voters from Labor than from the Conservatives. The Conservatives have kind of held their base largely. I mean, they got 24% in the last election. Now they're polling at 18%. Labor got 36. Now they're at like 15. Obviously, a little bit when Burnham is the leader, and they'll probably take the lead for a little bit. But I'm not sure this is necessarily going to be a Mark Carney situation because, again, Pierre was just so much worse of a leader than Farage is. Farage is a lot more personally popular than Pierre is, and I don't think you can necessarily compare the two. So we'll see. It's going to be a gamble. I think Labor's favored to start off, depending on where Burnham's approval sits, but things can change very quickly. I mean, at the beginning of the 2024 UK election, people didn't even think reform was going to be a serious player at all. They thought they'd get like maybe
And they took 3rd
5%.
place.
Yeah, and they won a bunch of seats out of nowhere, you know. Um, so you never know with any of this. I will say the big loser of last night was definitely Restore Britain. They put
Listen,
all
I
this
I I get the idea of restore, but guys, it's too soon. You
They
gotta
put
go
all these
reform.
canvassers out there, all this shit, and they got less percent than the BNP, which
You,
was an
you,
actual fascist party, got a decade ago.
at this point,
Like
if you're restore, you gotta work with reform. I know you have issues, but you're not gonna win. Like, I'm
this
sorry,
is
all you're
like
gonna do
again,
is hurt
I've been
reform.
saying it. Restore is like kind of the retard right of Britain. That's kind of what it is. And they might mean well, some of them might mean well, but at the end of the day, reform is your best shot to see any meaningful change in the country. Vote for them. If reform gets in, they're promising to do proportional representation. If you get proportional representation, that will allow you in the future to vote for better parties if you see better options than reform, because then it won't risk splitting the vote. There'll be no vote splitting in that situation. So if you want to see something like that, vote for reform. That's how it is.
Yeah. President Gilbert Gideon for 5. If y'all vote for me, if y'all vote me out, I'll become more powerful than you can imagine. Yeah, basically, that's the philosophy some people have, which is just dumb. Curb Your Enthusiasm for 2. You got balls talking about this, the title. No, not really. I mean, saying stuff bad about Israel is just generic talking
Bro,
points now.
it's like the most popular thing to
Yeah, I
do
always
right
find it
now.
funny. It's like,
And
guys, they're censoring everything. You look up Israel on YouTube, and I guarantee you all the videos are anti-Israel, and they have 20 million views
bro,
each.
if anything, you're going to get in more trouble in society for supporting Israel than
Yeah,
opposing it at this point. I'm
this
gonna be real.
this LARP is dumb. Like, all these outlets are bashing them.
They
All
don't
these
let you
networks
talk
are.
about Israel, says someone who's built their entire career
Yeah,
talking
like
about
Tucker
Israel.
Carlson. I got censored. Really? Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Wait, I gotta show this thumbnail. I saw this thumbnail the other day from going around Twitter. Give me a
K
second.
Comfort 2 off topic, but Rokan endorse Han. Tiffany sweep. Yeah, I think Tiffany sweep's gonna happen.
Yeah,
All right. Reform UK
yeah.
all the
Look in
way.
general.
Yeah, again, I like restore. but I like the idea of it, I should say.
You gotta share this
Oh
thumbnail.
my gosh.
It's like the face, dude.
Hold up, I got a funnier one than that one.
The face, bro.
Are you serious right now? This was how many weeks ago? 2?
I don't know.
Breaking, troops deployed. Troops being drained at Iran. It's two
Just
and a
the
half
face.
hours.
The face, bro.
Oh my gosh. So you're telling me that, guys, magically, we invaded Iran, but nobody knew about it. It was a secret plan. Are you when did he upload this?
Let me look this up. Okay, let's go.
I gotta, please say it was like 2 weeks ago. Like 2 weeks ago, he uploaded this. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's look. Let's look.
Oh gosh, speaking of,
2 months ago. It was
2
2
months
months
ago.
ago.
Oh, there's still a funnier thing. I gotta find the Robert Barnes tweet.
By the
Brock,
way, Barris is back on the Trump train, apparently.
guys, I said this before the stream, but for those that don't, let me pull up the Barris tweets. I swear to God, if he does what I think he's about to do, there's gonna, I swear, there's gonna be an explosion on this channel. I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Also, I love how like that deal has like a plus like 40 approval rating,
Yeah,
despite the fact
from
that when you put it,
Quantus
you think
Insights, I think,
everyone hit
right?
it. Yeah. Only 13% opposed the deal.
Well, to be fair, like America First Insight said, like nobody knows what the deal actually says. To be fair,
They just know it ends, which is shocking because the fact that anything involving Trump only has 13% of people disapproving it is pretty good.
I think
Obviously, it
most of
was
the people
only
are
like
sick of this, but
I think only like 54% support it. There were a lot of undecideds, but again, like typically it's a very polarizing figure. So
yeah, right here. Our poll will be out early next week. The peace deal is ridiculously popular. What is really interesting is how popular it was before anyone really knew what was in it, and how it rose as the admin sold it. Oh my gosh. I swear, Luke, if he shows Republicans with a generic ballot lead or anything crazy like that, oh my God, he better not. There's no way he does that, right? There's no way he shows Republicans surge in the generic ballot, right? He's gonna show it, isn't he?
wait, George Galloway is now running for the open Greater Manchester mayor spot. This is the dude who like runs this shitty like podcast and fled to Russia because he claimed that Keir Starmer was trying to arrest him for opposing the Gaza genocide or whatever.
God.
And I guess he's coming back to England to run in the Manchester mayor by-election.
God.
What?
Josh for 2. What the fuck happened to Tucker, bro? His downfall is sad. He saw the money. He saw the dollar signs.
By
Even
the
though he
way,
was
he's
wealthy.
friends with George Galloway. George
Yeah.
Galloway is kind of like the Tucker of England.
But yeah, like the thing with Tucker is like the reality is he had people around him that are able to contain his bullshit, his worst elements, and he doesn't got that anymore. And he can say whatever he wants. And yeah, that's both a positive and a bad thing because there's some stuff he shouldn't say that's just clearly bullshit and schizophrenic. So curb your enthusiasm for 5. I mean, saying that in most GOP circles is basically a death sentence, even if you're not a politician. No. Like the average Republican's getting sick of Israel. It's not really a talking point. It's like a fact. Like you look at the polling. In the GOP, who actually likes Israel? Like loves them, that they're beloved. It's like old ass white people, like old ass like evangelical types. So I don't know. This whole thing is just it's dumb. But yeah, I gotta find the Barnes tweet. I gotta find it. It is hilarious what he said. I don't know if Tucker was ever this schizophrenic. No, the thing is, he never was this crazy. He kind of just lost at the last. Really, when do you think he lost it?
he lost it since he's existed, bro. Since he like shoplifted back in like remember the mugshot? When
Oh,
did he
that's
get
right.
arrested? They shoplift or like do drugs. I forgot what it was. One of those things.
I can't remember.
Why did someone turn my server into the Andy Burnham fan club? I gotta remove
Oh
that, dude.
gosh.
What the
I gotta
hell?
find the tweet. The Bard's tweet's hilarious, so. There it is, I found it! Oh my gosh! Um, Luke, look at this. This is what we're dealing with for months, by the way.
Let's look.
I found it!
FYI,
The White
the
House
way.
expects 10,000 American soldier casualties, and they do indeed a plan to put boots on the ground in Iran.
You should repost that now.
He blocked me like a year ago, so I can't.
Okay, I'll repost this.
Oh, no, I got a funnier way. Every time like something dumb happens, I just do this. If it'll let me. There we go. I just screenshot it, post with no context.
I just quote tweeted "big if true."
Big if true. This
Also, I
is the
apologize for falling for a post by. Okay, what's this guy's name earlier today? Suleiman Ahmed. I apologize for following for this guy's
what?
post. Yeah, about Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz. I posted about that and said the war was restarting, but I fell for it again. I do deserve a fell for it again award for like.
Yeah, you do. Remember, you said the deal was over. They closed Strait of Hormuz and they reopened it like 2 seconds later.
I don't know. My job is to be bearish on this. I got to be like the most bearish possible. So
All right. Coverage enthusiasm for 5. Boomers who got all the money and power. But I understand your point. I'll leave it at that. Well, you know, I get what you're saying, but the problem is boomers losing their power. So, cake out for 2. I just witnessed gas drop 10 cents in Appleton. Yeah, gas prices are crashing. And I said this yesterday. I've been saying this for a while. Neither party should run exclusively on gas prices. You know why, Luke? You know why? Because when you focus on gas prices, yes, if it's high and it keeps rising, that's bad for the party in power. Like, no shit. But when it's crashing and burning, it hurts the party out of power. That's what happened in 2022. And I think the same thing's happening here. Gas prices are going down, and people are like, everything's perfectly fine. Everything's amazing. The economy is booming. President
Yeah,
Gilbert.
next week's gonna be crazy in New York. Have you seen some of these candidates they're
Yeah.
running, bro?
These people are nuts. President Gilbert getting up for 10. Luke, question. How do you think the UK could be saved in an economic sense, since its economy is lower than, from what I heard, their economy is lower
Again,
than Mississippi's? If it was saved?
Reform, because reform, if anything, is more fiscally conservative than any of the other parties, which is funny because they get a lot of their support from like unionized workers because of the immigration issue. But like they're relatively a fiscally conservative party, so they're probably your best bet to get there. Certainly not Burnham, because Burnham like is running his entire thing just attacking fiscal conservatism, just talking about like that's one thing Burnham is pretty extreme on. He's pretty left on economics, but he's more socially like centrist. That's kind of how labor is. Labor is like socially like 90s Bill Clinton, but economically like progressive. That's probably the best way to put labor. I would much rather like labor is a lot better than the American Democrats, for example. The American Democrats are just insane compared to any party in Europe. Um, Meanwhile, like the Greens are probably like your AOC wing of the Democrats. That's kind of how it is. So labor isn't terrible. Like Starmer, as much as we give him shit, he's actually done more than the conservatives on immigration.
That's not really
which
saying
is-
much.
It's not saying much, but he's done okay on that issue. It's still a massive problem. The fact is, we need a lot more done. That's kind of the thing there. So.
Chance Razik for 5. If this deal succeeds, I guarantee you most of the Israeli schizos won't admit they were wrong. Look at Sean Strickland. He's doubling down. Oh, I know. It's going to get bad. Like, these people are saying, we were right. Trump woke up to the truth. They're gonna take credit for it. Just watch. They always take credit. They never admit they were wrong.
Isn't Strickland, did he denied the invitation to the White House UFC fight, and then he said that like Trump banned him from going or some shit?
Yeah, it was like he declined to go and he blamed Trump for it. It just really
No, and he said that he was barred from going.
bullshit.
Like, brother, he was literally given an invite and he declined it.
But that's the issue with these people. They always want attention. They always want attention for themselves to make money. They want to promote the bullshit so people pay attention to it. It's an endless cycle. So, all right. Uh, where are we at? But yeah, so I think this whole Israel stuff, I mean, yeah, but I can't believe, or Iran, excuse me. I can't believe Barnes actually said like 10,000 Americans were going to die in Iran, and boots were on the ground, everybody. Like 5 people died, I
All the
think.
boots are on the ground.
Yeah. But speaking of Iran, there is one final part I want to talk about as it pertains to the sanctions, because we were waiting to hear what the actual sanctions were going to be. Like, how was it going to work? Were we just going to give them money? And, well, the deal's that if this is the case, that this is how we're going to deal with the sanction stuff, it's a big win for America, because this is what it says. The Trump admin will be providing Iran with access to $6 billion of frozen funds to buy humanitarian and non-sanctioned goods from the U.S. Notice what it says here. They don't get a blank check to run away with. No, the money stays in America. They have to buy American goods. We control where the money goes. That sounds like a good deal for us, doesn't it? What do we lose out of this then? If
All
this
of
is
it.
really the sanction stuff, it's their money, and they're investing the money right back into America. Immediately back into America, and we get money out of it. And in return, it actually helps American businesses. So it's a win-win. And Iran could buy whatever shit they want to buy that's non-sanctioned. I think this is like food and stuff and like whatever they're gonna buy. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, it's basically like the equivalent of like a coupon. They can just
Yeah.
get stuff from us.
It's free. Hey, you could have the money, but you have to buy only American stuff. I like it. Yeah, I think it's the best way to handle it. Okay, you want your stupid $6 billion? Okay. It has to remain in America. You have to buy American goods with it, and we know where it's going. Not this shit of, well, the money vanishes and we don't know where it went. No, none of that. So it's a big deal, I think. It does demonstrate that, yeah, it's a big win that this is how we're to handle the sanctions. We control where the money actually goes. Which also proves the idea that Trump is trying to get Iran into the global economy. Like, they're trying to get them more integrated so they actually function. They actually function like a real country. So, I like that. K-Cup for 2. You see the New York Post article? Trump 100% wrote that. No, I did. Oh, God. What do they post now? The New York Post. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything. All right. If anyone got any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now. Last calls for super chats. Last calls for super chats. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything about the New York Post. So Luke, you got any last thoughts before we end the stream? Anything?
All political power comes from voting from Boston Nationals.
Thank you. All right, everybody. We shall see you guys in the next stream, video, or wherever you see us at. Godspeed to all of